Gordon, send Lowerhouse to save the house. Come on, the house!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Housecast, a special live recording. Well, 50% of us are live. The other two are remote. Down at Cricket Club with me is Dooch. How are you, Dooch? You okay?
Just, yeah, very good.
That's good. Gary, glad you... I meant to send a bit of a reminder that we were being a bit earlier, but you are organised type of chap, aren't you?
That's all right, yeah. Kept up with messaging, no probs, thanks.
Good lad. So what we're doing this evening, we want to discuss the games from last weekend. That's all. We've only got one weekend to discuss. And our other celebrity co-host, Joe Martin, is still coaching the kids. So we're wondering what we're going to do until he finishes in about 30 minutes. So we thought it would be a good idea, without him knowing, and it's a little bit like This Is Your Life, but he don't come in with a red book or anything. But we're going to talk about Joe's remarkable career and the amount of games he's played. And he doesn't know we're doing it because he would be all coy and stop us and mess us around. So we thought we'd just do it without him knowing. So to assist us in that matter, we thought, who else can we get on who knows a little bit about wicket keeping? And he's also a little bit daft. Well, Iggy wasn't available. So we had to stretch into Europe to get another legend wicketkeeper from Lowerhouse, Andrew Chippendale. Hey, Chippy.
Hey, Jazz.
How's things?
Yeah, good, mate. Thank you.
Good. Whereabouts are you in the world? Or can you not tell us?
No, Germany. I'm in Mönchengladbach.
Mönchengladbach. How Wiedersehen?
How Wiedersehen? No, I'm not good at it, mate. I don't have a clue what they're talking about. Don't have a clue.
Anyway, Chip, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Only a day's notice. Really appreciate it. But it'd be good to get your thoughts and your views on this achievement. I'm going to go straight into it because it does take some fathoming out as to how this lad has played as many games on the trot as he has. So, stats from Adam. So thanks very much for getting these together for me. Joe's played, including last weekend's league game, 353 consecutive games. Now, by my reckoning, I don't know about you guys, but they are playing in more cup games than we used to. But it's over 10 years of cricket without missing a game. Chip, what? I can't get my head around it. How was it? Either injuries, some sort of minor issue, disaster, car crash, anything, how he's managed it. What's your thoughts when you looked at that, Chipper? I know you've been looking at the stats. Someone, especially a wicketkeeper.
Yeah, no, I can't fathom it out, me. That many not get a knee injury when knees are massive for wicketkeepers, and if he hasn't had a single finger injury that's kept him out from stopping playing week from week, that's just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He must be made of titanium and the fittest lad possibly in Burnley or in the world. Because
technique come into that, you think?
There's what, Joe?
Technique. Is his technique part of the reason why he's not got injured, or is it not as complicated as that? Is it just purely luck?
It's luck. Technique, no, not really. No, because we're all. Well, I don't know. It's a tough one saying technique because every wicketkeeper does it differently. And I watch Joe, and I don't see anything that's like, he does it like this or he does it like that. He's very, very good wicketkeeper, and he's just fit. He must be a very, very fit lad to not get a knee injury as a wicketkeeper.
But Chippy, if when you were playing, obviously you were varied from half your body weight to double your body weight. You didn't miss many. Can you remember, games where you'd hurt the pictures weren't as true either back then. I'm trying to think of reasons why he continues to play as many games as he does. We were very low, weren't we, when you were playing the pitches?
Yeah.
Not much carry, so you're going to take the ball on half volley on some occasions.
Yeah.
And I know that's for a reason. I'm trying to think of excuses as to how he's played so many games.
I'll tell you one thing, and he'll be the first person probably to admit it. And you've just touched on a point, Jez. And I don't think that first team now, and Joe's ever been like that because he's never drunk. He certainly weren't in the drinking culture that us guys were, was he?
No.
So he's obviously looked after himself. And like you said, I one season I were a big lad. Next season I might have been a little lad. I wasn't the most healthiest wicketkeeper in the world in length.
Like that.
Joe, why are you laughing?
It's like that Gary Neville, Duncan Ferguson conversation, weren't they, on telly the other day? And Gary Neville was saying, like, elite players just don't drink anymore. They just don't have a beer. They just don't drink and stuff like that. And Duncan Ferguson turned around and they said that's why they don't get injured as much and they look after themselves and they eat properly. And Duncan Ferguson said to him, well, I had 10 operations, so that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
What it was like in his day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think of I was going to go down that route, of the drinking culture. But I don't think you miss many games, Chip. I mean, the wicket keepers that I've played with, you think of, Scotty, Iggy, yourself. I mean, proper wicket keepers, Joe Martin. I don't mean Frank and Nicky and Charlie. But you have to be a brave individual as well. Whether you're standing up or you're taking the ball when people are throwing it in from the boundary edge. But again, and I know we don't know the answer to this, it's remarkable he hasn't wanted to divot and smacked him in the eye, because I don't think he's had any injuries that he's played.
He had to go off one game.
Right.
I think it was 2014. It was at home against Enfield, and I remember it after some field. Thankfully, I didn't have to sub wicket keep. I think he broke a bone in his hand, and that was again because he missed a portion of the game, but was ready to play for the following weekend. Declan Bailey took the gloves and went behind the stumps for the second half of the innings, and Joe was back ready to play the following week. I think that was 2014 at home against Enfield.
Right.
That's the only significant injury he's had. The other bit, of course, which I think we should talk about, is people also miss games for social reasons.
Yeah.
And if you've got an active social life, sometimes you come under pressure to miss a game for something.
Yeah.
And he doesn't suffer from that.
And he won't mind us talking about that. He's the first one to say it. So listeners, if you think we're being cruel, Joe openly admits it. So that is an advantage for him. But it's still, between us now, I meant to give you pre-warning of this, excuses for missing games that we know, whether it's by us or by individuals who have played with. When you and Shez used to travel around Dukes, there was all sorts of reasons for being late and one thing and another. Have you two guys got any stories of people why they missed a game, which could have affected someone like, Joe Martin, dogs at me homework or at me pads or something? There must be something where we can come up with between us.
Well, I can give you a couple right hot off the press from the second 11.
Yeah.
Right. So, Kiro, the second 11 wicketkeeper, he didn't play last week.
Right.
It was his girlfriend's niece's first birthday.
Right.
Now, have you ever missed a game for any partner's niece's first birthday party?
No, I definitely haven't for niece's birthday parties. I don't think.
Not your niece.
No,
not your niece.
No.
His partner's niece's first birthday.
No, I don't think I have. I don't think. I mean, me and Gary can go back, and it's not something you could be massively proud of. We probably didn't miss games for our own kids' parties.
I was going to say, Jez, I missed. I were at Lowerhouse. It was rain affected, and we didn't actually start. But the day Jack were born, I was playing cricket at Lowerhouse. And it weren't only till the game got rained off I could go to hospital. Yeah? So I don't think I'd get away with that one, do you?
No. And I know Gary's got a very similar story.
Well, you were the more to fault than me, Jez.
That's right.
So I'm batting at East Lancs Fran's ringing my phone in dressing room. Nobody's going to answer it because they know what the drill is. Jez is like, so Jez answers it in the end. Oh, he's batting at the moment, Fran. We'll call you back later, sort of thing. And she's on her way to hospital, water everywhere, and Bethany's on her way. And then I weren't going to be long. But when I then came into the dressing room, they were who's going to tell him?
Yeah, well, that story's come up a few times. So we've uncovered the lack of alcohol intake for him has clearly helped him. The lack of social activities. So, but we cannot take away from the fact that the achievement that he's achieved within the Lancashire League. I don't think he gets recognised enough around the league. Whether he gets that personally, I'm not sure. Because I haven't looked at who's ahead of him as far as consecutive games. I think was it Bradley?
Bradley was his record that he beat, wasn't it?
Yeah. So he overtook Bradley to do that. But not only that, when you look, he needs 37 runs for 2,500 league runs. So he's likely to get that this year, and he needs 26 victims to go above figure in the all-time greatest wicketkeeper in Lowerhouse history, which he's clearly going to do. It's just the run of games.
Is it worth talking about that point that we made about the dream team selection?
Yeah, I think it is big time.
Because
to that, Jay, is another thing that makes it even more astounding. Chippy's touched on it from a physical point of view of just the action of being up and down, ball into the gloves all the time, but the mental side of it, the concentration. I know you don't have those necessarily injuries that stop you from playing or whatever, but to maintain that level of performance as well, not just be available every week and keep yourself fit and all that, just the concentration every game or every ball when you're in the game as a keeper, I think just adds to that sense of sort of wonderment really about just how you can keep that going for such a long time. We've all had it where we've been put onto boundary for an over or two and just like had a bit of a switch off for a minute just to get yourself back, and then you're back in game or ball comes to you or something. But as a wicket keeper, you can't do that ever at all. So I think that side of it as well, just maintaining that level of dedication and performance. So I never hear anybody saying, "Oh, he's having a bad trot at the moment. He's out of form, but who else can we put in?" and all this sort of thing. I mean, he's nailing this position down just through quality performances all the time.
Yeah, and when you watch, now watching between overs, he's non-stop. He's a proper team man in between the wickets. He is a fit lad, Chippy. He still does lots and lots of running, and the yards he must do in a game are phenomenal. And it really is. I know we it's a bit tongue in cheek, is this, but it's an unbelievable record. I'm just looking at another stat here: most appearances for Lowerhouse in Lancashire League matches. He's climbing up that list rapidly. I mean, Blaise is at the top with 874, but Iggy 581. So Joe's, he's 200 behind Higgy and only 30 victims behind him. So it's a fantastic achievement. Yeah, it probably is worth just revisiting. Joe and I were speaking at Littleborough, I think, about this achievement, and we all did, if you remember. It was a really good piece where we picked our best Lancashire League 11. Now, best Lowerhouse 11 who played in the Lancashire League, and I was trying to think back as to what we'd all said. The vast majority of us said Scotty, if I remember rightly, and I think Scotty got the nod in the end. Is that something you think you should revisit, Gary? Because I personally do, myself.
Obviously, game by game, it puts more pressure on that choice at the time, and it's not like it was 5 years ago we made that, and it's come on since. It was fairly recent. So, but without sort of going back and looking at the precise criteria of best 11, is it? We talked about, being club players and being team players and being and actual performances or the ability to turn games. Did we truly pick our most talented 12, or did we 11 or 12? Did we pick the ones with the best stats? I think there was a mix, and I think it was the one that I think probably more over than anything else. When it went to a vote, people were like, still, I could pick either of them really, and not be wrong. So,
well, I do remember talking to Chippy about it at the time. Chippy obviously wasn't on the panel, but I spoke to Chippy around. It must have been at one of the games, and he was in Joe Martin's corner.
Yeah,
before we picked Scotty, Chippy was saying that he thought it was Joe. And the reason I felt as though we should revisit it, and I take Gary's point, it is only a couple of years ago, so it's not like loads has changed since then. But Gary mentioned about criteria there. We didn't actually set any criteria for the selection of the players. We left it completely open to interpretation because we thought that would promote more chat. And while Scotty might have been a better out-and-out gloveman, I think that might be fair to say.
Yeah.
Having seen loads of him. What Joe has done for the club over the last 12, 14 years to never miss a game, and the impact that has on everything else. The captain never has to think about what he's going to do from a wicketkeeper point. You just don't have to think about it. Forget about it. It's just been.
Yeah.
To do that for one season, magnificent. To do it for the period that he's done and be so good and win games with the bat as well, I think he's usurped Scotty, in my opinion, in terms of our loose criteria for selection of that side. And I fought for Scotty on the chat, but I would revisit that without a shadow of a doubt.
I tend to agree with Dooch. I think it would be for all those reasons. We have spoke about it. When you think back to Dooch, when you were captain, when you were Gary, the wicketkeeper issue was a real issue. If you didn't have, and we went years, Gaz, didn't we, where Iggy was getting towards the end of his career, Scotty was coming in, and we didn't have regular wicketkeepers. The lads who came in and did it, were wholehearted Lowerhouses. But to get rid of that headache, would have been so easy. So I agree with Dooch. If I had to go back to that, I think I would pick. So you're right all along, Chipper. Joe Martin should be there. Let's just talk about his batting because we need to get to the games at weekend, and Joe is going to join us in a minute. Again, I found it amazing watching the last 2 or 3 seasons where Joe has now steadily dropped down, and now he's a regular number 11, really. Mm-hmm. The odd times he'll go in at 10, and he has, am I right thinking, 2 Lancashire League hundreds or 1?
He's certainly got 1. I mean, you were slagging him off earlier for not knowing the stats.
Just looking at what I've got here. He's saying, Paddy, he's got 1 more Lancashire League ton than his brother.
Oh, so that's 1.
Yeah, so that's 1 because Paddy's not got 1. So he has a Lancashire League 100. Even, I'm saying even now, he's still a youngish cricketer. But when we're playing, we're batting first or batting second. If we're needing 100 and we're 7 down, with 15 overs to go, we know that Joe can come in and do that for us, So it is it's a fantastic achievement, and in a lot of sides, he'd be batting in the top 5 or 6, I think. As a batter, Chip, did it ever affect you as a wicket keeper, or vice versa? You wicket keeper and affect your batting?
No, absolutely not. No,
because you were a top batter when you came, weren't you?
Listen, I know which end to hold, and that were about it. Gary sorted that out. I came as a batter wicket keeper, and Gary sorted that out straight away and turned me into just a wicket keeper.
Well done, Skipper.
But no, because I never batted enough. I love my batting and I love when I got the chance, but it never affected my keeping because I deep down inside me, I were there to wicket keep, not to bat. I were quite happy to bat 10 and 11.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I know Joe loves his batting, but he can play, can't he? And again, that might be because of off-field activities, Chip, that we just weren't as switched on and ready for.
Yeah, no. Listen, I weren't. Some seasons I weren't fit enough to bat. I were only fit enough to wicket keep, and that were debatable.
I've just got his stats up here in respect of the figures for each year. And it's just phenomenal, the catches, 22, 24, 39, 47, 27. and then it drops a little bit, but then 18, 27, 20, 21, 25, it's consistently.
Consistent, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know the biggest thing for me? Obviously, I watched on Sunday. I had a quiet week and I watched, but the stream wasn't on Saturday, and I watched the Lancs game that were on YouTube.
Right.
Young kid that kept for Lancashire. And it's funny, he stood up quite early on to Balderston, who was quite quick.
Yeah.
And his glove work for a 17-year-old was unbelievable. And then they started discussing, well, Balderston don't like it when this young lad stands up and blah. End of the day, he has to make that decision. And then I switched the stream on Sunday, and Joe Martin stood up to Tom Walker. Now, does anybody want to actually give their opinion on how you think? I know we got beat, but Joe's keeping on Sunday against Darwin, because to stand up to Tom Walker for the entire spell, that takes some doing. That takes
on a wicket that wasn't great. I mean, there was only 80 runs scored on it one day.
His glove work was unbelievable, and that's something I need to discuss with him tonight, because he won't admit it, but that I think he's getting better. I actually do think Jez is getting better behind stumps.
No.
And he won't say, because he's not like that. And he'll say, I missed this and I missed. We all miss him. It's about consistency. Does he turn up every single game? Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah. And he's there. And like he's, are you aware, Joe? Was Tom Walker comfortable with your standing up?
Not sure.
Because it is, it's something that if they worked it out as a pair and Tom's comfortable with it, then crikey, you've got an extra potential wicket in your belt, and you're stopping the batters.
Yeah.
Coming out of the crease and whatever he is. Yeah, it is outstanding. So let's move on to the games. We can talk about Joe as we go through them. So on Sunday, we was Darwin away in the league. It looked. Did you go over, Joe?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. I was watching this. I was away on my jolly, so watching the stream to a certain degree. Chippy, you said you were watching it.
Yeah.
Gaz, did you have much to see of it?
I saw some second innings.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, we're having quite a few people coming to me and asking about the stream at the club. It's maybe something that we need to address with it not working here as well as it should be.
I weren't sure whether the game had been rained off or something at first, because hunting around for it, and then realised it was probably the same problem as it were a week before.
Yeah, I had a couple of phone calls midweek asking about it, and we just need to get on to MD and see if we can sort something out. Maybe a bit of help from the Lowerhouse draw. We could help out if we could do. But Darwin won the toss and decided to field. It looked, from the bits I was seeing, and I'll come on to you in a minute, Chip, just to see what you thought. A difficult wicket, looked a bit, not a lot of pace in it. Couldn't get the ball away. Ben was out for 9. Henry opened the batting, batted well, trying to bat out time, but unfortunately Tom Walker was out third ball. And then Dan came in. They seemed to settle it down a little bit there, Chip. Is that what your impression was?
Yeah, no, absolutely. He batted really well, didn't he? Batted really well, but again, took him a long, long time to get off strike, off zero, sorry. And that's when you know it ain't going to be an easy afternoon.
No. What was it like over there, Joe?
Yeah, it looked tricky. I mean, I know we had a text chat, didn't we, at half time, but watching us bat, it did look tricky. And Chippy's point about Dan struggling to get off, I thought the more telling point was later on in his innings when he'd been in for a while, and they brought the slow ball on from John Cordingley from the clubhouse end, and he was bowling some around, a mixed bag, shall we say. Yeah. And every time Dan went back, he could not get it. He could not get it off the square. So accordingly, he's a spinner who doesn't spin it effectively, and he bowled from halfway down the pitch. And Dan was going back to try and hit him through the offside and couldn't get it past the fielder. Yeah. Just could not time it. And he'd been in at that stage for probably 20 overs. So I'm watching that thinking, if we can get 130, 140 here, we'll be banging the game. And I said that to you at half time, didn't I? I made us favourites quite comfortably at half time, but unfortunately, again, whether the pitch altered, or whether we didn't just bowl quite as well in the second innings, they made it look a little easier than we did. Not fluent by any stretch, and the pro played very well, but it did look a little easier to play on in the second innings than it did in the first.
And was it a different wicket to the T20 on Friday night, Dooch?
Yes, it was. It was a couple
a
down.
Different strip, I mean, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the vast majority of the Darwin innings, certainly the first 20 overs, and I did think they struggled a bit early on. And obviously again the wickets helped. So we ended up 145 for 9. Paddy a good 20. 56 balls. That's telling you everything. Down 48 off 110 balls, and we managed to get it to 145. Maybe 165. It's a little bit more daunting. Puts a bit more pressure on them. And then I thought they struggled a touch. 20 for 2. 26 for 3. Tom getting 2 wickets and Dan getting a wicket. But then it did, I agree with what you're saying there, Dooch. It did look, even from afar, that it wasn't easy at all. But their pro looked quite comfortable. Certainly once he got past 30 and then getting towards, getting that 50. And the other lad that day, the Davis, he batted well in just hanging around with him.
No scoreboard pressure in there. That's a big thing. Yeah. When you're obviously batting first and you don't know what your end game needs to be, then that's a different pressure altogether. If you're only chasing 150, then there's no real scoreboard pressure. You can take as long as you want, can't you? Really. So I think that did play a part.
Yeah, and again, so 100%, and that's why they've won with 10 overs to go at a counter, because that pressure's not there for it. You've got to get 5-6 wickets down, and they're still needing at least 50. But onwards and upwards. We'll ask Joe when he comes in if he's got any comments from the players' side. But then if we look at the game the day before, we're in the Worsley Cup against Todmorden at home. Again, were you down there, Dooch, watching?
No, I was on my way back.
Oh, you're on your way back from your jollies. Yeah. So again, we from looking at it afar, Jack Sim came in. Johnny Whitehead was unavailable, so Jack came in, and we all know Jack's expertise. He's a great player in the right circumstances, and will do anything for the good of the team. So he opened the batting, got 24 off 18 balls, which has got to be a great start for it. Ben 28 off 34, and we gradually pushed that score again down a great note, 85 off 111.
Paddy doing what he does.
Paddy did again. Paddy came in. What was it? 260? No. It was Paddy came in at 144. So he's been there or thereabouts, getting 70 or 80 on the scoreboard with other batters around him. Obviously including Dan, and Charlie got a very useful 11. So we finished 2-2-4 all out with in the last over. Strange side, Todd. I don't know if you see much of them, Chippy or Gaz, or looking at the stat. There's some quality players from who were old seasoned players. Andy Sutcliffe, South, and Jack Edgar, obviously a good player. Their captain, Priestley, lad who used to play for us, Dean Barlow, plays for them now. I see his stats have improved a little bit. Has he had 5 golden ducks this year?
No, I think he had 5 ducks in the first sort of 8 games, something like that. And I think three or 4 of them were first ballers. Yeah.
Lovely lad is Dean. But they have some decent players there, so it's never really over. And the pro, apparently, we're not really sitting back because we got rained off at their place.
We had a chat to him that day, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We had a chat. Yeah, he was doing a double teapot and wondered why he was getting annoyed with the umpires for not bringing them off. They were 50 odd for 9, weren't they? 56 for 9.
And he wanted to go back on.
He wanted to get covers on quickly. But anyway, so clearly a good player ends up with 95. And by all accounts, again, it'd be interesting to see what Joe makes of this when he comes in. They're all out with 9 overs to go. Well, 9 and 8.5 overs left. So if he'd have stopped in, that could have got close, I think. Obviously, we couldn't watch any of it because the stream wasn't on. But a good performance again from the bowlers. Tom's 4 wickets there again, and then they shared out between between the rest. Ben getting 2 useful wickets again. He's bowling. He's bowling as well as ever to get rid of a few overs that we need to do there. Showcat as well. It's a great experience for him there. 7 overs, 22 for 2, and getting their skipper out, and they both bowled. So good performance. Anything? I know you didn't see any of it, Chip. Anything from you?
I think.
Go on, sorry, Gaz.
Go on, Gaz.
I was just going to ask, because missed it on I saw him bowl at the end on the Darwin game. Could he have been thrown on a bit earlier?
It is something that I know Benny's fighting with, and to try and get him on there. It's difficult calls, isn't it? I agree with you, Gary. I've watched it, and I think giving him a bit more of a chance, a bit more of an experience to get in there. But it's a difficult call when you're out there, and with him, he's not a bad spinner where you get a dodgy spinner that bowls 3 half trackers and then 2 full tossers. He has got quite a bit of control, but he got smashed in a T20, didn't he? That Enfield at Bracewell, did it down here.
Yeah.
He got really smashed. I don't know the lad at all. I've had the odd little chat with him, but I think he handled it very well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he handled the pressure.
Yeah. And he got some tap in that game at Clitheroe, if you remember, the T20.
Oh, that's right,
but he came back on and got and bowled really well.
Yeah,
bowled really well later on. I think the general feeling about him is against weaker players, he'll get them out for fun. Like tail-enders or he gets wickets in the second 11. Whether he's quite as effective against top-order batsmen and professionals who are happy just to wait for him to slightly over-pitch and then fill the boots. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, because obviously he's only in the infancy of his first team career.
Yeah.
But I think that might be a general view on him, and that's probably why he didn't come on earlier, because obviously the pro was going great guns.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a valid point, absolutely.
Yeah, it is, and it's a big call. We've all been there. For wanting to win the game, which is obviously a priority. Not denting the lad's confidence the way he is, but I like the fact that they're picking him, and I like because he can bat. He's a proper cricketer, so he's only going to learn from that. So good work, Showcat. Let's hope we keep that going for the rest of the season. And then I think finally from the weekend's games, we'll have a look at the T20 game at Darwin on the Friday night. I mean, without a doubt, the highlight of that is Dan, our pro, breaking the record of the most runs in a T20 game. It's a new Lowerhouse record, 123 got off 58 balls. There weren't many seasons. I got 123 in a full season.
I don't think I got 123, Jez, in 10 seasons.
I don't think I faced 58 balls in a season.
Yeah. So 8 fours and 11 sixes. It's absolute phenomenal innings, is that? It's absolutely, the way that he's took the game away from them, albeit, we got 202. Now, I don't know if that's a little bit short with the innings he's played. He's only faced, he's faced less than 10 overs and got 123. I suppose it's on about par. Showcat got a good 16 there. And then 19 from Tom Walker, 15 from Henry. But we get 202 off our 20 overs. I'm just looking. There's no one bowler got an absolute pasting off him. There's one there, 2 overs, none for 30. 3 overs, 1 for 37. And then again, their pros looking in control to a certain degree. And then they lose 3 or 4 really quite quick wickets. And it looks like it's going to be game over until Cordingley comes in and gets 40 with the pro, and he could swing it back round, but they fell quite a bit short, falling 40 short, and we bowled them all out in the last over. Does anyone know? I'll have a quick look around how the league is being placed is at the moment for us.
Well, we've won all
3
out of 3, haven't we? So I would imagine we've probably already got enough, haven't we, to qualify?
Yeah.
Without knowing for certain.
Yeah, I think with Clitheroe getting beat, I think that was us going through. I think.
Yeah, we're top with 6 points, obviously, and everyone else is 4 points for Enfield, and Clitheroe, Darwin, East Lancs, and Rishton are all 2 each. So yeah, that would take us through. We could have another trip out, Chippy, to the T20s finals day.
Yeah, that's that one. I'll make sure I'm off that weekend. Like go to the UK.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm more bothered about Saturday and the Worsley Cup draw. I was thinking might be another Worsley Cup at Lowerhouse here at this rate. You get that?
Well, have you seen the draw?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I watched
Did
it
you?
live.
Yeah, you watched it on that YouTube.
Yeah, I saw one of my old teammates there doing draw live. Thought,
Which one?
Trip.
Yeah. Because Greg was there as well doing it. I mean, this is what the exec are trying to do: get things a little bit more transparent. There's been a few alligators around saying that there's a Lowerhouse bias, so let's do it live like it was. So for the benefit of the listeners who don't know, Lowerhouse are at Norden in the first semi-final, and the winners of that semi-final will host the final, and the other semi-final is Enfield and Ramsbottom. Is that a Rammy?
Enfield, I think.
I think it's Enfield. So, some different clubs there. Good on Enfield. They just got promoted this year, so good on them to get through to that semi-final. So, yeah, Chip, you'll have to keep that clear in your diary if you can.
Absolutely.
The semi or the final.
I was hoping we'd get Enfield so we could have a replay of the 2004 semi-final.
Yeah, where Blaise got his tunned into before the ton in the final, and Charlie 80-odd.
Yeah.
Charlie 80-odd for us to...
It's a shame Burnley didn't get through. We didn't get Burnley again at semi-final. And another rain affected, and we'd have been chasing 3,000 in second innings, something off 4 overs or something. Not that I'm still bitter about it, but still can't quite get my head round that shenanigans of last year, if I'm honest.
Just for the benefit of the listeners, we're on video, obviously, and Chippy's miles away. He's actually shaking.
I still fume about that. I still fume. I messaged you about it the other week, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you can't get over it. 3,000 off 4 overs, I mean.
3,000 off 4 overs, Lowerhouse, Steve.
Unbelievable. So, looks like Joe Martin's got tucked up on his training. I think we'll just go round. We'll start off with Gaz, then go to Dooch, and then finish up with you, Chip. If we've got anything else we want to discuss, there's no draw tonight. You'll be sad to hear, but we have got a couple of new members who've joined since our last one, which I'll announce when we do the draw. Any listeners who want to join, please just give me a shout. Message me, email me, or I'll speak to any of the other committee members, and we'll get the details to you to join the draw. Really helpful for us. And we are going to start. There will be some breaking news. I think we're going to increase the prize money because of the amount of people that have joined. And we also are going to use as a little kitty available. We're going to use that to try and contribute to something to the club as a part of the housecast helping out. So, Duke, anything from you before we finish up?
No, nothing particular. Looking forward to the weekend's games. We've got a home T20 against East Lancs on Friday night, and then a big clash in the league, Walsden away on Sunday. So that's a bit of a cup final, really. Now with how well they're going.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning on here. They've gone off like a train, and they really are. They're 20-odd points in front of everyone now.
Yeah, they did get beat on Sunday.
Yeah. So no, there's 17 points in front of Darwin, and then Burnley, Todd, Norden, us, and there's only 5 points in between all those sides. So it is a big game. So if you can get over to Walsden and support the lads.
Oh, just one other thing as well.
Yeah,
Two's won again at weekend.
Of course, yeah. Sorry, we need to get on. We have got a podcast booked to get some of the really young ugrats on from the twos to talk through some of the games. But well done, the second team. I think they are. Have they
second in the league?
Yeah, the second in the league, which is just to try and explain a little bit. They're in the first division now with the second teams, and it is a strong league. They got relegated 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a difficult league to get out of the second division. But there was some poor cricket in it, to be fair. But they've won promotion, maintained the place last year, and now fighting really well. They're only 5 points behind Norden, and they're 18 points above third at Nelson. So keep that going, lads, and we'll get you on the podcast to talk about it. Garrett, anything from yourself before I go back to Chippy?
Not for me, Jess, thanks. All good.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, buddy. Chip, really appreciate you coming on at this late notice. We are going to get you on a few more times with more humorous ones than this, where we can talk about some old games. And because we have over probably only the last 3 or 4 podcasts, Chippy, and I'll send you some details of them. We start talking about games. I think we had one with Pinker, and then we found another game where Gary had bowled 17 and a half overs, and none of us believed it. So we're doing some research about these games, which are incredible as what happened. And half of us can't remember what really happened. So we're going to get something together. So it'd be good to get you involved in that.
Okay.
So it's great to see you, Chip. Anything you want to add?
No, not really. I just think it's a different season this season, isn't it, than it was last season. I think if they keep working hard, it'll turn. And then I think they'll come strong back end at season, I think. So I think they're still in there. They just need a little bit. I don't know. It's a bit more consistency, really. I think, but they're doing well.
Yeah.
You're never going to get 2 seasons the same. Never.
No.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and also as well, Chip, I think it's worth saying, and Joe and I spoke about this, is the amount of players we're using this year. You know, if you think the last couple of years we've maybe used 14, maybe 15, the odd occasion where there's some injuries, but this year we're up to like 18, 19 different combinations of players getting injured.
I've seen the team today on the website for the weekend, and I think that's good. There's a bit of change gone in there as well for this weekend, and I like that and all. I like it.
Do you want some just some quick stats about selection compared with last year? Because I was doing a bit of research.
Yeah, do please.
So we played 22 league games in a season, right? We've got 10 amateur spots.
Yeah.
So obviously your professional's going to play every week, or our professional's going to play every week. So out of the 10 available slots of the 22 games, do you think we had anybody last year play 22 games? Well, we obviously know we did have at least one.
Yeah, we
right? So how many do you think we had played 22? All 22 out of those 10 available?
2.
No, more.
Yeah, I think more.
Right. So I'll tell you, it's 4.
All right.
4 last year, right? 4.
I would have said 5 or 6. Yeah.
4 players played every game plus the pro. But then if you look at players who played 20 or more, we had 8 of the 10 players last year played 20 or more league games. And not included in those 8 was Charlie Cotton, who played 15, Joe Oak, who played 17, and Frankie, who played 10 last year. So that hardly leaves any games for anybody else to play.
No.
Hardly any.
And that includes everything, injuries, work, other commitments.
Now we're not even halfway through this season yet, so we can't really say what those stats will look like. But I will guarantee you when we get to the end of the season, those stats will not be as impressive as what last year's are. And like you say, there's a whole host of reasons why that is. But when we're talking about games that don't quite go our way, you can analyse the toss.
Yeah.
You can analyse, did we bowl well? Was the batting order right? All those things are valid. But if you're not getting your best 11 or 10 of your best 11 or 9 of your best 11 on the pitch, more often than not, then you're going to struggle to maintain those standards. That's just a fact.
Yeah. And that affects, other clubs. You don't see it with other clubs. They probably don't recognise that we had so many regulars last year. We don't recognise Walsden might be, consistently churning out the same players and not getting any injuries. But it's a really important part of it. The positive side is we're getting new players that are gaining this experience in the top side that are going to be finishing, in the top 4, Showcat and Keegan and these other young kids, Henry's coming on as well. So, no, it's a good point, that. Right, just to finish up, we've had some feedback. We do like getting feedback for how the podcast is going, how they want who they want as guests. Anyone, please contact us via any of the social medias. I'm not going to mention who this is, but this person says they've had some brilliant podcasts just recently, and they've said they're enjoying them a lot more. We seem to have matured. This person said, I found initially they were a bit laddish and there was some swearing and it appealed to a limited audience. But now there's more general interest and it's all talking about the cricket issues, but also the going on to other issues. which are being discussed, e.g. the cancer issues, mental health, etc., etc. Keep it up, lads. You're doing a fantastic job. So that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Feedback there. So that's good timing, actually. So we're just going to finish.
Fantastic.
No, I'm only tricky. Joe Martin's joined us. I'd like you to listen back to this one quite as soon as you can. We've had an episode all about you.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Oh, Christ.
We've just gone through some of your stats and some of your, the outstanding contribution you've done for Lowerhouse over the last 350 odd games of not missing a game. That's why we've had Chippy on to talk how difficult it is about broken fingers.
Hey, Chippy. Hello.
Well,
Really nice to see you.
And bad knees. I know you don't want to say anything about yourself and you don't want to contribute at all, so you can have a listen to it.
Well, it's been my pleasure.
No, it's been ours. It's been ours. If you don't mind then, because the listeners would appreciate a player's view. Friday night, great knock from Dan.
Unbelievable.
None of us saw it. So a little bit on the stream. Yeah, but you weren't here when we were talking about it. Unbelievable. It's a record score in a T20 game for Lowerhouse.
Yeah.
Did it just take the game away from them? Because their pro was looking...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think any score of 200 is obviously a big score, but Dan... it wasn't like... it wasn't like it was out at challenges. Because, for the first 2 overs, he hadn't faced the ball.
Yeah.
And we'd already lost a couple of wickets. But then he just really sort of dialed in from there and was brilliant. It was very, very windy.
Right.
Like unbelievably windy. So I think that maybe helped hitting into and having a particular zone, but that wasn't the only thing. It was an unbelievable innings, and it was brilliant to see. Really
he seems in a good vein of form as well.
Yeah.
He's looking good. He's looking
batted very well on Saturday
good
as well.
Yeah, so we won that one. We've been through that. And it looks like we are now going to make the finals with the position we're in. That's, I think, assured because of the Clitheroe dropping points.
I think we're going to get to the quarterfinal.
Quarterfinal, sorry, before the finals day,
So
that's good. The Todd game at home, no one could see because the stream wasn't working out of us, but obviously you could see because you were being stumped. At half time, were you happy with the score?
Yeah.
You thought it was enough?
It was a tough wicket. I think one of the problems had been was that the weather had been decent on Friday and obviously Saturday. So people expect, like a rock hard wicket from, but the weather's just not allowed people to do that, and it was, a little bit soft and tricky to bat on. But we were confident going in, and I think they were trying to restrict us to maybe 150, 160, and then we got away. And bowled well. Their pro batted very well.
Yeah, we talked about that, and if he would have needed to get 130, 120 out of 130 for them to win the game, or Jack Edgar or Sav or someone would have had to get a 50 or a 60. So that was a good win, 65-run win. And then finally, before we closed down the Darwin game, obviously disappointing. What was the players' view on that, and particularly you?
So I'll be honest, I think felt like we'd run out a little bit of puff, to be honest with you, after
the win on Friday.
And it was, and I'd say it was actually the polar opposite to how we've been playing cricket for the past 2.5 years, where it was a little bit turgid. We were trying to get to a score rather than actually thinking, we have lost a few wickets here, but let's still try and get to 200, and we prefer to be 130 all out in 30 overs than scraping to 150 and 50. I do honestly think they had the better of the wicket.
Yeah, we got through that from what bit we saw on the stream.
But even so, we had them in a good position. Yeah. And you can say that about anything, can't you? If you take another wicket, you think you're in. There were a couple of chances. I don't mean like catching chances or anything. That didn't go our way, and if they did,
big LBW shouts.
There were some.
The pro chipped a couple that were just over Ben's head.
So there were some half chances that if they'd have gone our way, I think we'd have won that game. Yeah. But credit to them, the pro batted well and Reece batted well.
Yeah. And it did seem, I think you're right what you say, it seemed to get better. The first 10 overs, I think they were struggling a little bit, and if we'd have got them 3, 4, 5 down, then it could have been game over. They seemed to get easier, and their pro got easier as well.
Yeah.
We've been through all that, Joe, so thanks ever so much for coming in and giving a player's view. One thing we did chat about, and Chippy was particularly vocal about it, was the fact you were standing up to Tom.
Yeah.
What was all that about?
We just thought with the wicket, how it was, if we could try and keep them in the crease, that Tom would bring LBW and Bold into play a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if I come up to the stumps, it's obviously gonna do that. So under orders, so you go and do it.
And I think what were your words, Chippy? Outstanding glove work.
Outstanding glove work, Joe. To stand up to Tom Walker for that amount of time, it's not like you're going up for 2 or 3 balls or you're just going to push somebody back in a crease. That's unbelievable concentration and unbelievable skill, mate.
That's very kind of you. It would be interesting to get your thoughts on it, Chippy.
You get better with age, mate. You get better with age. Trust me. I watch every week. You get better with age.
Well, I'm still trying to get better, you know. So.
You just think about our day. Who's the better wicket keeper now? Joe Martin or Jack Simpson?
Well, we only saw Jack when we played against him that time and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say anybody in the league was better than, on a significantly better or better on any given day than what the performances Joe's putting in now. So
he's up there with Jack Simpson in our day quite easily.
Yeah.
I
do agree.
In the league.
Yeah, and we also you have to have a listen to it, but we've also when we did our Lowerhouse team of the whole history, we all now agree that we dropped a clog in putting Scotty in.
Yeah, should have picked him.
Should have been Frank.
No, I didn't drop a clog. I picked you anyway.
No, Chippy said at the time, I don't know if you're aware of that, but when we went to Chippy for some specialist wicket-keeping advice, and he said at the time, you should have been picked. Oh, shucks.
Chippy, I'd be interested to know. I mean, I actually prefer standing up to the quicker bowlers rather than medium pacers.
Yeah,
because
I did.
You're on instinct
like
a bit more.
Ryan Harris and people like that. It's easy when it comes in quicker. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you can sort of just rely on your hands a little bit. Whereas with Francois and Top,
you know where it's going.
Yeah, there's a little bit more variation, and I don't quite know where. Yeah. So it's But
did you hear Chippy drop in then that he stood up to Ryan Harris?
Joe, you've got to have these perks in life, mate. You need to have these perks in life.
Yeah,
Australian Test player. That's it. You stood up to him.
Correct.
Good lad. Right, well, we're done with everything we need to there, chaps. Thanks ever so much, Chip, again for dialing in. Gaz, thanks for dialing in, and thanks to Dooch and Joe Martin for coming down the club and doing it in person. We're going to keep doing these one a week if we can do. Might be the odd different people who are hosting it, but please tell your friends and get them to listen, and anyone who wants to join the draw, then join the draw. Thanks very much, everyone, and goodbye.
Alvida saying.
Chippy, any plans to make an appearance or not?
Yes. Yeah, I just have to work out when I get some time off, and I'm going to come over and stop with Jez. I'll be there.
Good lad. And Gaz, we asked you that question last week, but you said you've got plans to come up as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's all in the pipeline. I don't know the exact weekend. We're just shuffling things around, but we'll be there.
Cool.
Right. Good lad. Right, we've got to catch up. We can do one live when we've had a pint. Right, thank you. What do I do now with the recording?
Adam, leave this in. I think you can just end it.
Just end it up, just that one?
But no, I think maybe leave, or what does it sound more?
I once lost a whole recording, Chipper.
Honestly, I don't even know what's going on here. I can't even get off.
Maybe just leave it and we'll see.
Just leave.
Yeah.
See you later, chap.
Bye. Cheers, bye.
Gordon Lowerhouse to save the house.